Hey everybody, it's Denise, back with Keto with Denise, and today we're going to talk about acceptable versus unacceptable sweeteners on your keto journey. I get asked this question more than I can tell you from existing clients and even new clients because they're wondering, well, what can I have that's sweet? Or how is it that you're able to bake these goods and make ice cream even and enjoy it on your keto journey? This can't be real. Well, actually it is, because we're going to talk about those acceptable versus unacceptable sweeteners and what makes them acceptable versus unacceptable. And I'll talk to you from this standpoint. You can certainly watch another video that talks about the glycemic index, glycemic load, and insulin index. This is how long or how quickly it takes for your body to raise your insulin levels or process the food and turn it into sugar. All of those indexes are what we go by, and there are some acceptable natural sugars even that we use, and that's why we're going to talk about them now. So in the acceptable category is something called Inulin. There's a brand out there called Just Like Sugar, and it's a sweetener. And when you're talking about these approved sweeteners, by the way, you don't need a lot of them. Table sugar is totally different than these sweeteners that are approved on your keto plan. Erythritol, we want to make sure when we're purchasing erythritol that it says non-GMO, because there is a link back to corn, but there is a product that I use. I've used Swerve as the main ingredient for things that I'm baking and even in cooking, because it's great. I've had no problems with Swerve granulated or even the confectioner's version of Swerve. They work very well for me. But I recently started using monk fruit. It's not as sweet, but it works very well. I started baking things with monk fruit, and it's just a different consistency to me that I really, really like. And I know a lot of people prefer monk fruit as well. Stevia is great. The thing about stevia is that it does leave a little aftertaste. I've used stevia. I use it really sparingly in hot liquids that I may take in, and it's really good for that. Otherwise, I don't like the aftertaste of stevia, but the natural plant base is very good. And then there's IMO Isomaltooligosaccharide. If you can say that really quick, it's one of the natural sweeteners. It's a sugar fiber that you can use, and you'll find that, as a matter of fact, Swerve is a combination of erythritol and IMO. Xylitol, you want to get that as non-GMO too, and xylitol is really sweet. Now, I tried xylitol personally, and my body doesn't like it, because some of these sweeteners, depending on how much you use, how much you consume, it can cause bloating and it can cause some GI response, if you will. So I found myself with xylitol saying, my body is not good on that one, because it definitely had a response. And then there's Truvia, which is a combination of erythritol and stevia. So you can experiment with any one of these. I think I've got a selection of all of these except for a couple in my pantry even now, and I just experiment. I just use the ingredients and bake things, and I haven't had any catastrophic baking experiences yet with any of the sweeteners, and certainly with my body as well in terms of responding, because the whole idea is to avoid and prevent insulin resistance, right? To prevent the spike in insulin, and that's what these acceptable sweeteners will do. For example, erythritol has like a glycemic index of 1, and that glycemic index is from 0 to 100. When we talk about that, I'll just spell it out here. The glycemic index, I always want to put an X on it. The glycemic index is 0 to 100. And that's, erythritol is 1, monk fruit is a 0. So you know it's not causing a spike. Whereas regular sugar is all the way over here somewhere near 70. So you see there's a huge difference. So let's talk about those unacceptable sweeteners right now. Maltodextrin is the highest on the list. It's like on the glycemic index, it's 100 to 110. It's off the chart already. So that's something you'll find in a lot of your, it's hidden in a lot of foods. But look at the ingredients. Read your ingredient labels. And if you see this thing, you don't want it, especially for the stuff that says sugar-free. It's sugar-free, but has some hidden sugar in it. Splenda. We don't want Splenda. It's a combination of dextrin, combination of maltodextrin, and sucralose. So we're going to say no to Splenda and NutriSweet for all these artificial sweeteners. We've got a video on artificial sweeteners and understanding sugar. Sugar, honey, agave, coconut sugar, date sugar, rice sugar, all of them cause a huge spike in insulin in your glycemic index and converting that sugar, okay? Stevia in the raw. I was using stevia in the raw early on in my keto journey. And remember, I always talk about read the labels, read the labels. This is why, because the first ingredient in that stevia is dextrose. I don't need that. That's a form of sugar. I don't want that in my sweetener. So I had to stop using that. And then you're just your raw sugar. That's your molasses, that's your brown sugars, all those kinds of raw sugars, you want to avoid those as well. They're not acceptable on your keto journey. And maltitol is another form of sugar. These are things that we want to absolutely avoid, because if you were to look up the glycemic index on any of these, you're going to see them upward past your 55, 60, 70, 80, and it just keeps going higher and higher, okay? So now you have a little insight about the acceptable, unacceptable sugars on your keto journey. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Hi, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And by the way, click the bell too, so that you'll be notified when there's new content like this. Thank you again for watching.